Hi guys, welcome. And who dat? I'm Joe. Sorry about the audio in this room, but it's breaking news. It has to happen. The reports are that the Saints are going to hire the passing game coordinator from the 49ers, Klint Kubiak, to be their next offensive coordinator. If you had to throw all of the names in a big pile and tell me to pick out of them who I like that we've interviewed so far, I guess my top three candidates would have likely been Klint Kubiak and Zach Robinson and Brian Greasy. And I'm a little interested in Greg Lewis, though he hadn't shown anything yet. Still interested in that. But yeah, Klint Kubiak was probably number one on my list. He and Zach Robinson. So am I shocked? Yeah, I'm pretty shocked that this front office would make this move. Kind of lends itself to what I was saying earlier about this organization being dysfunctional, because it seems to me like if you're going into your last year with Dennis Allen and he has to do something with Derek Carr, it seems like the last thing you want to do is change everything up. But it's best for the franchise. It's best for the organization. So in a year, let's say we get Klint Kubiak, because I'm not celebrating the hire until pen is to paper. So let's say he turns out to be a decent coach. I still think it's going to take Derek Carr half a season to get acclimated, the entire team, actually. Maybe we come out the gate running. Maybe the play calling is so much better that even with the new installation, we still perform better than we did at the beginning of this past season. That's possible. I feel like this franchise is pretty inept. Now, making this move, if they pull it off, it shows me that at least somebody in there is thinking about the best thing to do. I mean, the best thing to do is get away from Sean Payton's system, get away from Dennis Allen. No, they kept Dennis Allen. It's like they want 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You kept Dennis Allen, but you're going to change the offense. You kept Dennis Allen, whose boy is Derek Carr, and now you're going to give Derek Carr a whole new offense to learn. After 1 year under his belt, he finally started to show that he was getting it. Hey, I'm not saying Ron Curry was the best choice. I'm saying Ron Curry was probably the safest choice if you felt like this was going to be your last year. So what happens if we get Klint Kubiak? He installs this great system. Hopefully Derek Carr can run it. Will Derek Carr succeed? Yeah, I think eventually he'll probably get it. But I think we're going to go through some bumps and bruises. And, people are trying to predict the record already. I mean, come on. I don't even know what the roster looks like yet. So we'll see what's going to happen. I have faith that Klint Kubiak is going to be a good coach, especially if he learned something while he was under Kyle Shanahan. I'm a Denver fan, second favorite team, always has been. I moved to Colorado back in 1990, and I thought John Elway was the greatest player I've ever seen. So, at that time. So, yeah, it was easy for me to be a Denver fan. They're in the AFC, and I've lived in Colorado, the second longest of any state I've lived in besides here in Louisiana. So, Saints are always my lifeblood. I bleed black and gold. But I have an affinity for Denver, and I've always had a fondness for Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak. I always thought they were good. Denver was always pretty good. And I figured their kids would end up being something. And, Kyle Shanahan is the whiz kid of the league right now. And with 1 year under Kyle in San Francisco, I'm hoping Klint Kubiak has picked some things up. Kubiak's stint as a play caller has just been okay. When he comes in, if he becomes our OC, he wants to make changes to the coaching staff. That'll be interesting. But I'm going to assume that his system is going to be kind of a blend between he and his dad's and then Kyle Shanahan's system. And I'm hoping, he learned a lot and he'll be able to to be one of those young up-and-coming coaches who, much like Kyle Shanahan, takes the league by storm. Wouldn't that be great? Probably not with Derek Carr as your quarterback, but, you'll see. Brock Purdy was a seventh-round draft pick, Mr. Irrelevant, and here he is about to play in the Super Bowl. Kubiak is obviously good with quarterbacks. I think everywhere he's been, he's that stint in Denver when he had Trevor Siemian and all that. I think after Russell Wilson, I haven't gone back and looked at his history because I'm hoping that whatever he did in the past, he learned a lot from Kyle, and that will be applied to the Saints. So can Derek Carr do this system? Probably. The system's supposed to make it real easy for quarterbacks, a lot easier. A hell of a lot easier than what Carr's had to put up with this past year. With no motion, no play action, no utilization of players where they were supposed to be. Yeah, I think Carr had it rough. And he showed he could perform at the end of the year. I fear because he has to learn a whole new system, we're going to see bumps and bruises next year. But it's for the best. So I think all of the pressure really at this point shifts from Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen onto Derek Carr. Because if he doesn't succeed in this offensive system, I think people are going to look at Carr negatively before they look at the system negatively. So what happens if we struggle next year? We don't make the playoffs. Maybe we're 8-9 and we're not even a winner. Maybe even worse than that. What happens then? Do we fire Dennis Allen and elevate Klint Kubiak? I'm interested. I'm interested to see. Because I think it's going to be hard for the Saints to be where they were offensively this year. I think we can do a little better. But, I mean, look, we fired our OC. And we finished 9th in total offense and points, I think. 9th in yards, 14th in points. So, we're in the top 14 offense, and we fired our OC. Kubiak and Carr are going to have to come together real quick to improve on that. And we know we lived through it, and that wasn't good enough. Of course, it's going to be hard to beat Sean Payton and Drew Brees. I think we're a little spoiled right now. I think some people are coming around the Carr. It's all on him now. If he couldn't handle the pressure before, he's going to have to handle it now. He's going to have to lead this team with this new and improved system. And that's what everyone's going to believe. And he's going to have to be the leader. He's going to have to do it. Can he do it? I don't know. If he ends up with numbers at the end of next year like he had this year, then I guess he did okay. Because it's his first year, right, in the system, which is weird because this is kind of like Dennis Allen's last year. And I love Dennis Allen. I love the defense. I do. And we've been doing this defense for a while, and it's been very successful. The last couple of years, we struggled against the run. And, some people think Dennis Allen needs to evolve and start to add a little bit of different things. And for all I know, Dennis Allen just wants to keep doing what he's been doing because it's been pretty effective for most of his defensive coordinating career. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. I've got some videos lined up. If Klint Kubiak becomes our new offensive coordinator, then we're going to have a new scheme. And so I've looked into the draft and of the offensive linemen that are coming out who would actually fit that scheme very well. So subscribe to Rosenfield 10 and you'll get that video, and that'll come out this week. And I'll try to do that with every position group. But I'm not going to get carried away just yet because until that pen comes to paper, I'm not celebrating. But until then, I got to say, blew the top off of my wow meter when we heard this news. I'm not celebrating, but I am very, very surprised and intrigued. I think this franchise is inept. You're going to put a whole new system in with this quarterback that's going to struggle in it and a head coach on his last leg. I hope you guys know what you're doing. But, hey, I like the hire if it happens. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I'm Joe, and I will talk to you later. Who dat?